if
All
you
right.
like it.
Now that Dan is done with his race,
This is where we get serious.
this is where things get serious. Yeah. I mean, not too serious, but I've been trying to set aside some time on my stream each time for like discussion time where we pick like a topic and we talk about it a little bit. And because we've got like the people that we have here, I wanted to take some time to think about like the difference between like the Mario Maker 2 streamers and the romhack streamers. Like for instance, I am pretty deep in the Mario 3 streamer community, and Dan is pretty big into the Super Mario Maker 2 community, and I'm kind of wondering what makes that appealing to each type of person, because
I'm retired from Mario Maker 1.
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
I think
Mario
everybody
Maker in
knows
general.
this.
2, 1, whichever. But the point is we're trying to expand the ROM hacking community, especially for Mario 3. Mario 3 has not had its day in the sun yet, and we've been kind of like trying to grow that in the recent years. So when we have somebody here who has like a good following, you're like the number one person who starts streaming at 6 a.m.
That's true.
So it's
10 a.m.
it's good to have your input on stuff like what for Mario 3 people, what could we do better to make our game platform more interesting to your platform? Because you've got all these viewers here. You want to keep them entertained, I'm sure. And I know you like Mario 3, but you haven't been able to pull the trigger on doing like ROM hacks and stuff like that.
I'm too addicted to Mario Maker.
You're just too addicted to Mario Maker? It has nothing to do with like the other stuff?
I like ROM hacks, it's just I'm too addicted to Mario Maker, yeah. Well, I mean, like, look at Pooh right now. He's the same way, right?
What makes Mario Maker 2 like such a big draw for you?
No, it's not just Mario 3 or Mario World, though. There's Mario 1, you have 3D World, New Soup.
It's
Yeah,
the
so much
it's the
more.
different templates.
The variety, the interaction with viewers, I guess, too.
Yeah, the interaction with viewers I've thought about too. I've thought about trying to like recreate like a Warp World type system, because when you look at the way people make Mario Maker levels, they use a Switch and they build it with touchscreen tools, which is really convenient for the users. It's very low hanging. It's people don't have to
Talking
try
about, like,
too
an
hard to make a
editor
level. Anyone can do it basically, but really making ROM hacks isn't that hard either. If you teach your viewers to do it, they could use a similar system.
Have you seen, I think Arisen Dead and them are working on a SMW tool for making levels just like Mario Maker,
I have seen that. Yeah, it looks really cool. I saw that on Arabam's stream.
like an editor, yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I think that's the other reason people like making levels through SMM2. It's easier than Lunar Magic,
Right.
especially for younger people.
You have a lot more options with Lunar Magic, which can be
Right.
confusing to people.
Yeah, it makes it more complex and more overwhelming, I think.
But it is mouse and keyboard where you're just clicking squares, which that kind of
That's
helps,
also
I
another
think.
reason too. Not everybody has a super powerful computer to.
You don't need a super powerful computer. It's
No, you don't. But like to like emulate and run at the same time, it can be kind of annoying as a streamer, I guess.
okay. So as a streamer, it's like you need the hardware.
Yeah.
That makes sense. The barrier to entry is a little higher for streamers, I think.
Right.
But
Yeah.
for viewers who are wanting to make a level, I don't think it's that much higher, other than understanding the engines.
I personally don't like making levels anyway, though. To be fair,
Yeah,
I've
You've
only
never
made, like,
been-
one Mario Maker 2 level.
yeah. You've never been big on the creation.
Because I don't really have a creative mind when it comes to making levels. Every time I make something, I delete it immediately. I made like a level for 2 hours the one day, and I deleted it all.
Dude, I do that all the
I hated
time.
it. I really did.
I
Like, if
should
I'm
have
not
done
gonna
that
enjoy
with
playing it,
our.
I don't feel like anybody else is going to enjoy it.
I should have done that with our race level, but we pressed on and we tried to make it work.
But yeah, see, that's if I create something like my first level's not that good either. A lot of my levels aren't that good. I'm not proud of them. I just
I
can't
think-
make anything aesthetically good, I guess.
I think that's like a problem in itself, though, is that people are scared to try now because like they're comparing themselves to like things that other people have made. and it's
Just make a level if you enjoy making it.
yeah, make
Don't
something
worry
you
about
enjoy.
anything.
That's what I do. I
Don't
make
worry
stuff.
too much about booze and stuff too, which is kind of
I mean, but you also want other people to have fun. I guess the assumption is if you're having fun, others will have fun, right? Yeah.
Guptina says he has a single idea and then he just wings the rest of the concept of the level.
I mean,
It's
that's
like-
not the worst though, because the best levels in Mario Maker and Mario period are one gimmick iterated upon, right?
Yeah, they just kind of work off of some sort of thought, and you just kind of go on a train. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think there's any train levels.
There's a train.
Thanks. There's a train. Okay. Mario 3D World, I think, has a train.
So, Bearcatgirl, as a viewer of all these types of streams, what do you think holds Mario 3 back from getting more community? Because that's what we're trying to figure out here, is trying to get the SMB3 community expanded. Bearcat?
here.
She's on the call.
Yeah, she's right there. Oh dear.
Okay, I couldn't hear you for a sec. You're good.
There's no audio.
Yeah, I can't hear. Well,
Cutting out.
that's awkward.
Yeah, none of us can hear Bearcatgirl.
Well, Cartridgeblowers, as someone who plays both.
Bearcatgirl, how are you?
Maybe I have you turned down.
What are your thoughts, Cartridgeblowers, on like you can hear?
Oh, I hear you. I hear.
I don't hear it all. 0%.
Maybe, revolving door. Leave the call and come back in.
Let's try it real quick.
I
Yeah,
only
ruining the call.
I don't even see her thing. There she is. Yeah.
I hear her now.
Yeah, now I do.
Cutting in and out, Bearcat.
Awkward.
All right, Bearcats. So what were your thoughts?
So I think the one thing that holds back ROM hacks versus the Super Mario Maker community is definitely the lack of chat interaction with the level and the streamer at the time, because one of the things that makes Mario Maker the community that it is that the chat users have input on the stream experience through their adding the levels and then being able to talk to the streamer, because usually when you're in a ROM hack, you're playing the full game, the streamer's really focused on doing the game. Whereas with Mario Maker, unless you just have somebody that's really trying to grind out a world record, they're more focused on like chat interaction and having fun with the level. And I think that's one of the things that really separates the two communities, and it's really hard to transition for a lot of people, because when you first go into a chat, you want to have those interactions with the streamer.
Do you think
build those kind of things up?
Do you think that there's a way that somebody could like modify the way crowd control works to make it more interesting for the viewer on a day-to-day basis? Because I think that crowd control is really cool for races, but really it's not very interesting for single viewer experiences. Like just me sitting here by myself on crowd control, you can interact, you have that interaction that you're talking about, but it's not as interesting because you're buying things basically, and people can't afford to do that every time you're streaming. Do you think that there's something that you could do that would be
Yes.
fun that wouldn't have to like cost money, and like that kind of experience would make it better?
Yeah, something, if there was a way to make a Warp World level puller for like a level of Grand Poop World or something like that to pull through to a queue like that.
Interesting.
I think that would be a really cool idea for like, you could just pull any level from any ROM hack, and like if there was some way to categorize it, like this level is a 5 on a scale or something. I don't know how you could come up with that, but somehow to scale levels in a ROM hack so then it could just pull a level at a time, just like the Mario Maker queue. So that way, like you said, there has to be a free component of interaction. Like there has to be something that will allow everybody to interact in the community and build that up versus the spinning of the bits and things for crowd control, like you said.
So the idea that you've just given me is a way to upload ROM hacks to a database. And from that database, you can have an overworld that through a Lua console, which is what's running the crowd control service, you can change the pointer of any level to point to any level from any ROM hack you've ever heard of. And so the
like
person's
a randomizer for all ROM hacks?
Yeah, it's like a randomizer for all ROM hacks, except people are controlling it.
That would be really cool if you were going across games too.
You could do that. It would be
Yeah.
really freaking hard. And it
would be
would,
hard to do it in general.
Plays Pokemon type thing.
what's
That
that?
would be interesting too.
Are you talking about like a Twitch plays Pokemon type thing?
It would kind of be like that, but it would be more like Twitch builds the ROM hack that I'm playing. So you're sitting there, you're playing a ROM hack, right? Let's pretend it's Mario 3. You play level 1. Level 1 is probably just level 1 because people don't have time to interact yet. But somebody puts in something in a crowd control like interface, and level 2 becomes level 1 from Mini Kaiser Bros.
That's cool.
Or they can
Like
upload an
water?
entire ROM hack that has any number of levels they want, and they can reference that ROM hack and the level they want to be the next level in your overworld.
Yeah.
That
That would be
sounds like a lot of work, but I mean,
It is, but it's also less than it sounds.
like I think it would be easier to make just one level ROM hacks, right, and then pull from all of those. So you're
They're
just-
doing weekly ROM hack races, right? Or like one
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, well, that's also what Jabm Selects are. We have a whole like treasure trove of one level ROM hacks for Mario 3.
You could do like one Thak and them do just do viewer ROM hack days.
We do that by you, but I think the problem with that is again like teaching people to use the tool and getting people to submit stuff on a regular basis.
Well, you have to remember that Jakku had such horrible adoption rates of Warp World in the beginning that people, as simple as he made it, people were still like, nah, that's too hard.
Really?
It has to, oh yeah, like it has to start somewhere. Like he set up, I can't even tell you how many people's Warp Worlds he actually set up because people were just like, nah, doing this is just too hard. And it's just like, no, once you set it up, it's the literally easiest thing you can use.
Well, I mean, building ROM hacks is kind of the same way. At this point, I mean, it's point and click. You click on the screen with the thing you want to add, and it's basically the same as using a touchpad.
Sure, but I mean, like, this is coming. From
Testing
someone
is
I've
harder.
I've never touched it, but I mean, like, are there, like Mario Maker 2 has tooltips that you can, see.
Yeah.
Like it might tell you what it is, or are there tutorial videos, perhaps, like
Sure.
short, quick ones that people could follow?
Yeah, those
I
exist.
think- and like even I think one thing about Mario Maker level building, as someone who does build a lot of levels, the ability to build it, test, delete, test, etc., like back and forth, is important. And I don't know how you would do that in Mario 3.
You can do that, all of that. The only thing that you can't do that I find inhibitive is that you can't start playing a level from like the middle like you can in Mario Maker.
Sure.
Anytime you would test a level, you would have to test it from the start.
Interesting. I mean, that's not terrible though. I mean, that's how people are going to play it, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're making always, shell jump hell levels.
Yeah, and I think those are less common, especially in Mario 3. That's another thing that I think is really weird, is that in Mario 3, there are a whole bunch of really good hacks that people have just never seen before. And
Whereas a lot of Mario Maker 2, the major levels you see are going to be just like, oh, yeah, no, I'm shell jumping on this, and then I'm bouncing on this 2 times, and then I'm 20-second speed running, and
there's definitely been a homogenization of different Mario Maker
Right
gimmicks.
here.
What's that, Dan?
I saw my Discord disconnected. I was telling Bearcat I'm still here.
you are here. We believe in you.
We hear you. It's I mean, it's an interesting problem because I feel like a lot of stuff has become really similar for a lot of stuff, and I think that this is like the chance for Mario 3 to kind of get some traction, because we've we don't have the same communities that Mario Maker and Mario World have had. And a lot of people are starting to say, hey, a lot of this is starting to look really similar. And Mario Maker, thankfully for them, they've kind of gotten that Link suit, and a lot of that has broken open new stuff for them, which is nice. They get a brand new, fresh set of stuff to use, but I think there's a new demand for like SMB3, and I'm trying to think of like the best way to improve on this in the short term and the long term.
I don't know if there's an easy answer there for you, Jabum.
Well, I know there's not an easy answer.
Yeah.
That's why we're having like a preliminary kind of discussion here from people who know all the sides of the equation.
Like what I guess it's, is the problem that there aren't enough ROM hacks?
No, that's definitely not the problem.
Okay,
I mean,
so then getting people to make stuff is really not the issue then. The problem is getting people to play it.
As Bearcat has said, the more the issue is like, how do we engage the audience with it? Instead of it just being, because when you play a new ROM hack that nobody's seen before, the only thing that you're creating there in terms of new content is people seeing the game they've never seen before. And your personality probably helps that, sure. But it's not terribly different than somebody else who does the same thing. So how do we make the user involved in the live experience? And that's kind of the idea I'm spitballing for figuring out how to improve.
So it's more of an audience interaction and adoption issue of trying to get people to transition over to ROM hack viewing.
Yeah, it's figuring out a better way to interact people on Twitch.
And you probably need to get big names in on it. I mean, not gonna lie, you're gonna need to get someone like a Mitch Flower Power to really start doing it from the ground up. Like I feel like that's a necessity if you're wanting to make it as big as even Mario World.
GDQ might help coming up too. Don't forget.
What's that?
GDQ could possibly help. It's in GDQ. Every time something's in GDQ, it kind of helps out a little bit, right?
Well, Mario 3 is in GDQ every time. The issue is that it does help, but it helps if people watch Mario 3 right now. The only incentive is to watch the person who's the best at Mario 3, because what's the point of it? Unless somebody else's personality is specifically like really calling to you. Basically, the only thing left to do in Mario 3 is just play it better than anyone's ever played it before. At least in Mario Maker 2, there is that, level submission kind of back and forth. And we're trying to figure out a way to do that in Mario 3 as well. Or, something like a crowd control. What's that?
It's tough because Mario Maker is, I think, more user-friendly, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well,
that's
Mario Maker's a brand new game. It's not even a year old yet. That kind of helps too.
That's kind of the point. Is we're looking into ways to make it more user friendly. It's like, what's not user friendly about making a level in Mario 3, and most people don't know because they haven't tried.
It's just so much easier to take a gamepad on the Switch and just go wherever you want and make a level, I guess.
The portability helps, I suppose.
That's why. Like people like that don't even watch Twitch. Anybody out there, you can just pick up a gamepad and just start making a level anywhere,
Yeah.
I mean,
and
you're
having
never.
the trustworthiness of Nintendo behind a game as well. Whereas, a lot of people downloading third-party software of any kind got those DanG88ers out there.
Those
Not wanting to
monsters.
download anything from those links.
Like you're never going to reach the amount of levels combining Mario 3 and everything else together.
Well, do we really want the same number of levels? I mean,
right.
in Mario Maker 2, you are sifting through a lot of kind of terrible levels to get to what you want. Whereas,
terrible too, though, right?
What's that?
It depends what you like and don't like either, though, right?
That's a good point. Just
some people like the trash. Carl loves it. Carl loves the trolley trash out there.
That's true. He
I
does.
mean, Carl, is
like
why
it.
there's so much trolley trash.
That I personally didn't like, and I played ROM hacks I like.
No, for sure, yeah.
Do you feel like
mean,
They're all
you're
good, I think.
do you feel like you're exposed to all the ROM hacks that you would like, or do you think that there are a bunch of ROM hacks that slip
Probably
through your
more I've
fingers
seen.
simply because you don't know about them?
Because I don't know about them. That's probably another reason, I think, like getting the ROM hacks out there. See, my problem is like when I play Kaizo ROM hacks, they all feel the same-ish, if that makes sense.
And SMM2 doesn't?
Oh, because like in Mario Maker 2, I can play New Soup, I can play 3D World, I can play Mario 1, 3, SMW.
And you really do only play SMB3 hacks, don't you?
No, I played SMW when I first started, and then I moved on to SMB3. I kind of just don't play either at the moment. But I will be playing a couple hacks when they come out eventually. But like, I don't know. I don't like the insanely difficult ROM hacks out there, I guess.
I wouldn't
A
say
lot of
that.
people love Grand Poo World and the, Storks and everything. I don't enjoy those personally.
I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I mean, I'll watch those one time, but otherwise, I'd never play them for damn sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there's more ROM hacks out there. It's just again, you don't know, and I don't know.
Right.
It's, I mean, there's something to someone who has a categorical knowledge of what those ROM are and can evangelize for those ROM hacks, right?
Yeah.
Go out and spread the good word.
I think an easy
Well,
way to
that-
access all the hacks would be a good way. Like I think Dode and them are recategorizing all the SMW hacks. They're
Really?
trying to make extra categories now. Usually it's like Kaizo Light, and then there's a couple other things, but like they need to categorize them better. Because right now there's like hacks that are like Grand Poo World 2 is the same as like Quickie. And that doesn't make sense to me. And like they're the same category.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
they're a little far apart.
Yeah, and that's completely, if you don't have a knowledge, like if you're a new person that has no knowledge, you're gonna get really frustrated really easily.
That makes
That
sense.
makes sense.
So if it's an
Yeah.
exposure issue, then it sounds like that queue system would be good for all
For
of that.
sure. Something randomized, something that I mean,
Yeah.
that differentiates it from just being romhacking.net, you know?
Right.
Right, yeah, that's another thing too, as Chad just said. People assume ROM hacks equal Kaizo immediately. Like there's a knowledge, people just think there's no such thing as easy ROM hacks.
And I agree
Casual.
with that wholeheartedly. 'Cause
Have they not seen 3mix?
Yeah, there's some people that haven't, I guess.
3mix rules. I don't play a lot of ROM hacks specifically.
Play
because
3mix, there you go. There's another hack
I played.
played.
I don't
I
like
know.
Kaizo stuff. You know.
I'm not really, not with SMW, I don't really enjoy as much.
I've been also toying around with the idea of working on like 5-level SMB3 hacks because
Yeah.
they're pretty easy to put together in a short period of time. And somebody like, you could probably like pick it up for like the first hour of your stream and then be done with it in an hour. And like, yeah, it's just a cool way to have some SMB3 for a little bit
gonna
and not
say,
like commit.
The other thing is like when I play, like when people play ROM hacks, you have to play a bunch of levels to beat the ROM hack. When you play a level in Mario Maker, if you don't like it, you can quit and just get to another level. You know?
Yeah, you're not committed.
Yes.
Hey, Cardi.
Like if I play through a ROM hack, like I got really annoyed by Combros the boot level in World 8.
Mm-hmm.
I was awful at that level. It took forever, and I was getting to the point where I was like, I don't know if I'll beat this hack now. I beat it, but
Yeah,
Bearcat.
Did you have him say it was going to take to beat that level last night?
That's true. He said 20 minutes, right?
I said upper 20s,
Upper 20.
low
Kenny
30s.
in the chat is saying something, and then Jabham's chat saying something about, which I think is really smart. I think to make SMB3 ROM hacking popular, you probably need a good all-star editing tool.
it's another thing.
Really, because those exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, All Stars.
Another thing I was gonna say is a lot of people don't know how to patch ROMs either, and that's another thing I think that turns people away.
But see,
Yeah.
and then you can't have them already patched though, because that's a legal gray area.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Because I've seen people asking in chats already, like, how do I patch a ROM? How do I patch a ROM? And I don't think they get the correct answer they like, and then they don't play the ROMs.
I think a web tool could actually be made to make that easier because I think it's legal for your online software to apply a patch and then make it immediately downloadable as long as it's never saved to the server.
Cool if you could make somehow make a website you could go to and just play ROM hacks off of, like right off the site.
You can do
But
that.
that's really
That exists, but you're gonna have insane input lag putting into a browser.
Yeah.
And that's still not legal. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
Well, it could be.
It'd be better if there's an easier way to do it. Like,
If you supply your ROM, your Mario 3 ROM, to a website, it can patch it legally. That's how the Mario World Randomizer works. The Mario World Randomizer has a patching tool online.
right.
it'd be cool,
Right, but
like
I
if there
think-
was an extension like crowd control almost, where you could kind of do it like faster.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I guess.
Like it's just
Yeah.
like so you got this idea of a downloading queue up. It's patching your ROM on the fly, and then it's
and then you
resetting
just
after
play.
every level you beat. So
Something like that.
Technically
That's
possible,
insane.
very difficult.
Yeah, that sounds like insanity.
But yeah.
I think that's more doable than you think, though. It would just be really weird.
Not for me. Yeah.
That's all I can think of.
You would have to abuse save states really hard. All right, well, I thought that was really productive. A lot of ideas for improving ROM hacking community stuff.
I can't wait to see the tool that you're developing in the next few months. Great.
I don't know if I'm developing it by myself or
You're
anything.
gonna revitalize the entire Mario 3 community. Jab 'em, you did it.
It's a cool idea. I don't know if I can do it, but it'd be cool. And I don't think it's as hard as people are saying. But any final thoughts?
Think of, yeah.
Mario's good. I like Mario.
Bearcat?
He's my dad.
Good
Bearcat.
thoughts, Bearcat.
Asleep.
Mario is
Old
good.
lady.
Mario is good. We can all agree.
No, I
on
had to
that.
cough. I was coughing. I
Oh
got-
dear, we're killing Bearcat.
It's fun
Yeah.
talking about.
I know. I'm really hoping I'm not getting sick. Like if I
Aw,
go to
heck
Orlando
yeah.
and I have sinus or cold stuff, I'm gonna be so mad, dude.
My
So
face
mad.
is sick.
That's a good point, King.
Your face is sick.
Face Dan.
Say that. That was Jab who said that.
Beardless.
We don't do the high pitch voice anymore. It's now low pitch Southern accent.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm against the high pitch
Hold on.
making fun of your stream voice.
Yeah. Now we're friends with our stream. We talk to them like we're their Texan grandpa.
When we raid today, can we go on a group raid?
Yeah, let's do a group raid.
Okay.
Who are we thinking?
Target, who's playing SMB3?
All my viewers are probably in everybody else's chat too.
Yeah, let's pick somebody doing a ROM hack.
Let's pick someone doing SMB3 for sure if we can.
Yeah, I have somebody. His name's Picante.
Picante. Interesting.
He's playing 100%. 100% route.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Go give him an old raid, guys. Sound okay, Bearcatgirl?
You know that.
That means you too, Bearcat. Raid him.
We got everybody.
Okay, I'll
Hey.
host. Yeah. I'll be at the very end and I'll just trigger a little host
I
there.
see him. I see him.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming out and watching the races and
Yeah, thank
talking
you all
about
for
Mario 3.
It was fun.
Yeah, I hope you had a good time. Thanks for talking, Dan, about the intricacies and your special insights
Thank
into
you,
the problems of streamers. I hope you guys have a good night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you too.
My chat. Hey, my chat. I'll be back tomorrow morning at like 11 or something. We're gonna finish Game of the Decade. See y'all then.
Night, guys.
Yeah, guys. Bye. Bye, chat. Bye.